Peace, family. Vie Darling, the Cosmic Queen and your intergalactic interpreter here for another cosmic tea, this time for the weekend of the 31st of March. So we're trying this setup. It's going to be easier for y'all to see the cards, and it is also easier for me to create the content and get it out to you all in a timely fashion. Instead of doing it on live, we will still do live channelings. Mainly those will be transmissions though, because this is just so much easier for me. And that aside, Instagram lives are difficult because I just have so much difficulty downloading them so that I can post them on my YouTube, and I care more about having the content for YouTube because I actually use YouTube. I don't watch Instagram Live, actually. So that just makes so much more sense to me. We're gonna get the overarching energy. I think it's overarching energy. That's what I always say. But like, apparently I've heard other people say overarching, and I just really don't know. And if y'all are new here, just know that like my work table for my art is the same as the table that I read tarot on. It won't always be that way, but that's how it is right now. So I appreciate y'all being chill about it. I also feel like I want to get some guidance from this deck too. So I guess we're going to get a little guidance from both of the decks. I'm going to go ahead and pray and bless this mess. I'm giving myself a lot more work to do. Anyway, now where did it go? We're not going to use this just yet. There's yin channel healing. There is an upgrade happening to the yang energy within the yin. The light within the dark is being clarified of the calcification. It's actually clarifying the calcification that has been in the yin channel. So that's what's happening to you at this time. And it may be paired with heavy feelings that are frustrating to deal with. But I just encourage you to keep on trudging. I just encourage you to keep on moving through those feelings as best you can. They're rising to the surface to be released. I feel pressure in my head. I feel tingling in my throat. So I think that it's purging out of your ajna. It may be affecting like how you think, how you see things right now, your perspective. And what I really would encourage is just to stay deeply grounded in the reality of what's happening, what your situation is. Don't allow yourself to get thrown off by the fact that these things are coming up. Don't allow yourself to think that you are, allow yourself to think this, but just remember that it's not true, that you are fundamentally broken, that something's wrong with you, that you haven't done the healing work because these things are coming up. They're coming up to be cleared, and they're coming up because you need to see them, because they have been subconscious for way too long. And it's time for them to be removed. It's time for you to receive the clarification that you deserve and that you have needed in order to transcend this area in your life. Okay, so we get two cards, Obsidian and Bismuth. Protect your soul, rewrite your code with rainbows. We see Sunstone kind of wants to come out. That's interesting because that was a card that came in the live stream I did for, live stream pick a card I did for the planetary parade. So I don't want to get any more information from this deck. But I guess we can just shuffle So we're going to just take some insight from this and not read all of it. And this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. So speak from your heart is at the bottom of the deck. Protect your soul, rewrite your codes with rainbows. Barite, get answers to your biggest questions. Slow your roll. Get real with your truth. Keep your cool. Dive into your dreams. Clear your path to enlightenment and connect to your star stuff. And all of these kind of definitely connect with what I was picking up. Yes, with the Pillar of Light in reverse and the Age of Light in reverse, I feel like, as I said, this is clarification of your channel. And with the throat chakra sensations that I was getting, I am getting the sense that we need to express ourselves, express our truth, express how we're feeling, because the only reason that we would feel to keep it inside of us is because we feel like we need to hide whatever it is that needs to be expressed. And that's simply not true. We simply do not. Dive into your dreams. Like, we're being allowed to acknowledge and to see what it is that is blocking us, because that's the only way that we can actually like face our truth and deal with it and get out on the other side of it. Like, this is the big boss, essentially. Like, when you're battling, actually the big boss is already done. But this is a process. It's like in a video game when you have to like run through all of the different little challenges, then you get to the boss of the level. And you have to really put into play everything that you learned and face the boss and actually do what you have to do, which may be difficult, but then that is what ends up like bringing you out on the other side. Because you can't get to the other side unless you face them and battle with them. Defeat them, I guess is the term here. And I would even really say like bring them into submission, because honestly, it's your mind. When you master your mind, you bring it. I've talked about mastery before, and it's a development of a relationship so that it's a developing of a mutually beneficial relationship, essentially. And I describe it like this. If you have a horse, two separate people have two separate horses. The horses are of equal quality, we'll say, in terms of what they're capable of doing for their their rider. We'll say it that way. And the differences between the two riders, you know, the two folks mounting the horses. One of the riders, rider A, is really a curmudgeon, really forceful, really insecure, hates himself, feels disempowered, feels like he can't accomplish anything. He has a chip on his shoulder, he has a point to prove and to everybody, but ultimately he has a point to prove to himself. When he was young, he had to prove everything to everybody, that he was constantly being put down and told that he could never be a rider, he could never be as great as like his grandfather or whatever, right? And he felt like he had to prove to people that he could. Everyone in the community was just like, you're not really that good of a rider because like you do this differently, you don't want to wear these kinds of clothes when riding, this is the clothes that we all wear, and you'll never be as good as so-and-so. And those are two different kinds of things that can happen. You know, being made to feel like you're not good enough because you are different, but also being made to feel like you're not good enough because somebody else was better and they came first and you're never going to match up to them because you just never will. They were so great You know what I mean? And you could never match up to them. The whole time, you could actually surpass them, progress past them. But either way, the difference is you're just a different person, and you can do things differently than the way that it's been done. And that actually is going to help you to be able to bring in new ways of doing things that qualify as innovation. It's going to be able to bring in innovation that would allow folks to do things that they've never done before, accomplish things that they've never done before. However, Rider A is so caught up in proving people wrong about themselves that they don't at all give in to their innovation. They just try to assimilate. They just try to be perfect. This is the example that I'm getting. There are so many different ways that this can manifest, because they could go too far in the direction of being an iconoclast also, and just completely harm their horse and themselves in the process and their community. But in this example, they just go way too hard in trying to assimilate, trying to prove that they know everything, they know all the right techniques, and they can put them into practice perfectly, exactly as the book says. And they don't get much success with their horse. They don't get much success with their horse. They try to force upon the horse what they have been told is true, what they have been told is real. And the horse doesn't give them what they feel like they deserve. And what happens next is they are mad at the horse. They blame the horse, because the horse, if only they had a better horse, they would be able to achieve what they want to achieve. What's wrong with this horse? I'm doing everything right. They walk around angry all the time. They just force the horse past its ability to practice, because they're just I gotta train this horse because I'm doing this right and it's not getting it. We gotta get this shit together, right? But that's not working for them, and they're getting tired and they're getting angry. They want to quit, but they're afraid to quit because they feel like they need to prove to everybody. And it's yeah, they're not the best, because guess what? And people are just yeah, you've proven exactly what. Find your natural rhythm, moonstone under Amazonite. For all you earth goddesses out there and the people who keep around who need to work on their empathy, patience, and intuition. Shimmering protective talisman for travelers since way back. Moonstone is a dreamy white 𝗕𝗕 feldspar mineral for gazers of sky and soul. Keep it on your bedside table in your overnight bag with your passport and eye mask. When to use it: under a new moon, use it to set intentions that align with your purest, life-affirming, inner child nurturing calling. Under a full moon, moonstone belongs in the bedroom or wherever you get down. So take a look at that. Okay. And they're not the best. They're just you're just really not. You don't win any of the competitions. Maybe you've won a few of the little rinky-dink competitions here in town, but you always lose when it comes to Rider B. Rider B is our fave. We love Rider B, and we don't love you. We don't love you. We don't love you, because we're only gonna love the person who wins. We're only gonna love the person who makes us proud. We're only gonna love the person who brings us pride, and that's how we get joy. And also, we're only gonna love people who are like us, because this is what this is all about. This is about validating us. And Rider A is what the fuck? Rider B does everything, does nothing by the book. Rider B doesn't even know what this kind of trick is. They don't even know this basic thing that everybody should know. 𝗪𝗏 is a phony. 𝗪𝗏 is just a carefree F face. They hate 𝗪𝗏. They think 𝗪𝗏 is stupid and cavalier and doesn't have enough discipline. But the thing that they don't know about 𝗪𝗏 is this. 𝗪𝗏 is intuitive. 𝗪𝗏 is carefree, but also careful, because 𝗪𝗏 is faithful. 𝗪𝗏 trusts God. 𝗪𝗏 trusts 𝗪𝗏's higher power. 𝗪𝗏 trusts the intuitive messages that 𝗪𝗏 receives from spirit. And when I'm saying this, I'm getting like different pronouns, like they, she, whatever. So this is a transient person who understands the ephemeral nature of energy and embodies whatever energy is meant to be embodied at that time. They're not trying to control. They're not trying to project their self-will onto anything. They are what they need to be at any given time. And that's why they can fill so many roles. They are fluid and they adapt to every challenge. That is why 𝗪𝗏 is able to win so many competitions. Beyond that, 𝗪𝗏 has mastered their horse. 𝗪A's horse hates them and sometimes does stuff just to sabotage them. Meanwhile, 𝗪A's horse loves them. 𝗪𝗏's horse bangs with 𝗪𝗏 heavy, because 𝗪𝗏 understands the horse. 𝗪𝗏, moves according to what the horse needs and understands what is in the horse's best interest. 𝗪𝗏 doesn't just accept everything that everyone has ever said about any horse. 𝗪𝗏 understands that their horse is a living being that deserves to be treated as an individual. 𝗪𝗏 knows exactly how long their horse can ride and never pushes them past that. And that changes from time to time, but there's an average. 𝗪𝗏 knows that. But 𝗪𝗏 also knows the tells of when the horse is tired and doesn't push the horse beyond what it can do. 𝗪𝗏 knows what kind of food the horse loves best, but it doesn't only give it the horse's favorite foods. It also gives the horse nourishing foods that it needs, because it can tell what the horse can't when the horse is sick and it needs certain vitamins, but it just wants to eat corn all the time when it really needs to eat kale. Let's put it that way. And so 𝗪𝗏 figures out how to get the horse to eat kale, even though the horse doesn't really like that. 𝗪𝗏 cares about the fact that the horse doesn't like that, but cares more about the horse's wellness and well-being. So it figures out a way to kind of please both parties. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, right? But yeah, at a certain point you have to stop taking the sugar and just take the medicine. That's what I'm hearing. Like, you don't need to sugarcoat everything. That's the message that I'm getting. That's coming through. It's like, you don't need to sugarcoat everything. That I feel like is for the spiritual community, because I do feel like people in the spiritual community feel like they have to like sugarcoat everything and make everything so like nicely packaged and whatever. This is some people in the spiritual community, and this might apply to you in whatever community you're a part of. It's like, oh, I have to be so careful not to hurt anybody's feelings, not to step on anyone's toes, not to offend anybody. But the reality of the situation is, like, someone's always going to be offended. And sometimes people just need to hear the truth. Sometimes people just need to hear the truth, because a lot of people are not willing to tell them the truth. And when you're actually willing to tell someone the truth, like, they might not like that about you, but it doesn't matter, because the truth is what matters and needs to be protected. I feel like some people here, like, you just need to hear the truth about yourself. And you just need to face it. And it doesn't allow it to destroy the thought, the idea of you that you had that was holding you back. It's about the self-limiting beliefs and how much power you give them and how much power you give to people who are not good for you. People, places, and things, idea systems, whatever, what have you. It's about how much power you give all of those nouns, all of those things that exist outside of you that are robbing you of your self-sovereignty. And Writer A needs to hear that, because Writer A sucks. Frankly, sucks personality-wise, and they can't win as many competitions as they should be able to, because Writer A is talented. But you know what? They are all mental. They're operating completely from the mental space. They're operating completely from the mind. And they're wondering why things are just not working out for them. See how I'm massaging my hands now? This is massaging of that, like, the energy that I put out into the world, how I co-create the world. How I co-create my life. And those beliefs are what programs our personal matrix, our personal field. And so Writer A has to go through this whole hero's journey of completely having an ego death and having to rebuild anew. A revelation is made that they can never come back from. And they have to figure out how to move forward. Their old way of doing things is not working for them because they've had a perspective shift. And they realize that actually it's never really worked for them. It's gotten them so far, but it's never gotten them as far as they wanted to go. And so maybe Writer B has something that they can teach Writer A. And maybe there's something Writer A can learn from Writer B. And instead of being so controlling and frankly manipulative and forceful and willful, Writer A starts to learn, like, okay, I need to learn more about my horse. It's not just about me. I need to learn more about my horse, because Writer A was never a horse master. And hearing like horse whisperer. That's a show or something like that? I think that was a show. But Writer B is a horse master. Because Writer B has mastery of the horse. They know how to bring out the best in a horse. Not how to make it do what it wants, but how to bring out the best for the best possible results for all involved. And sometimes that means that Writer B, doesn't get exactly what they want. But in the long run, it works out. Maybe Writer B had plans. They planned a 3-day ride. And the first day, they don't get as far as they wanted to do because their horse is tired and needs to rest. But then eventually, they do get as far as they need to go. I'm seeing 11 degrees for the North Node in the 5th house in Aries. And I'm also seeing 22 degrees conjunction between Uranus and Venus. We also have Mercury here. So there's a 4-planet stellium in Aries. And this is a lot of cognitive functioning. This is a lot about desires. And with it at 22 degrees conjunction, that's a master number. 11 degrees is also a master number. And so this is about learning mastery and how we have to timeline jump, how we have to quantum leap. And that is through our perception. That is through because perception changes when consciousness changes. Consciousness, every dimension has a consciousness. And when our consciousness shifts, to be able to be aware, our consciousness shifts to be aware of more subtle dimensions that are different than what we knew. It's broadened, it's expanded, it's deepened. 8th house, we have the moon at 6 degrees and dark moon Lilith at 14 degrees. Those things coming together feels very auspicious to me, especially because it is in Cancer. So we're feeling this dark and light, feminine or yin integration, feeling very empowered at this time, because we're learning about what we need to do differently, and we're finally open to receiving it in ways that maybe we knew, but there was subconscious rejection, and that calcification has been transmuted. And just allow it to be filtered out. Keep what works, leave what doesn't. We get 33, another master number. We have 2 33s because Fortuna is 22 degrees and 33 seconds in Leo in the 9th house. When we act, this is once again about mastery. It's like, okay, who am I? I know that I can force myself to be who, like for me, it's like, I know that I could manifest everything I ever wanted. But the mastery is realizing that like some of the things I thought I wanted, I didn't actually want. And that when I surrender to what my higher power will for me is, I'm able to actually exist in what I want, which is peace, joy, security, serenity, connection, communion, like unconditional love, truth. Because if there's not unconditional truth, then I have to live in fear constantly that I'm being lied to, that I always have to have my defenses up, and that's exhausting. So when I surrender to my higher power's will for me and I'm led into those spaces, I can receive what it is I've always wanted truly. And then when I have mastery of that, then I'm able to better co-create. Well, I want this. This is what I want. I know what I want is this, because I know myself better. Okay, well, maybe what you really want is, let's give you what you want, but we're going to have to do it on these terms because this is what's best for you. This is the best way for you to get it. And it looks a little different than how you wanted it to look. The journey looks a little different than what you wanted it to look like. However, this is the best for you to fulfill your mission and to grow as a person, as a soul, to make the most of your experience. This ends up being the path that you choose. If you've really come to this new level of mastery, that's what you do. You know, you understand, like, this, I really want this thing. I don't think that's what you want. And that's why I'm barring you from getting it. Okay, it's a minor stellium actually, because Mercury's at 29 degrees in Pisces. That's not what you really want. And so this is feeling challenged in our will. And it's like, okay, you know what? I don't know everything. I don't know everything. My ancestors, angels and guides, my higher power is keeping me from experiencing this thing. And I know intuitively that they're saying this isn't for you. It's not right now. This is not what you want. Oh, I've invested so much time into this relationship, and that could be a romantic relationship, that could be a job, and you really want a promotion, but you're not getting it. It's like, why am I not getting this promotion? And it's like, you're not getting it because it's not right for you. It's not the job that you're meant to have. You don't see it, but this would rob you. This would take you completely off of the path that you are supposed to be on for what you truly want. Trust that you don't know everything, and I know what's good for you. That's what Spirit is saying. And it's like, oh, but I invested 10 years into this relationship and like they still haven't proposed, da 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 da. And like now this other person has come into my life, like why they're sabotaging me, da 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 da. Like they're sabotaging my relationship, even though they actually show me all of the love, care, and kindness, generosity that I've wanted to receive my whole life. Like, why is this happening? I'm being sabotaged. Rider A. In the horse's life. No, you're not being sabotaged. What you need to realize is they're never going to give you what you want. Your spirit guides are trying to get you off of a path of destruction. And it's good to understand, like, that worked for me now, then, but it doesn't work for me now. This has taken me as far as it can take me, and it's not going to take me any further. Rider B was able to ride 2 times as long on day 2 of their trip because they let their horse rest instead of pushing them past what they could achieve. And so they got to from point A to point B in 2 days' time on a trip that should have taken 3 days. Meanwhile, Rider A took the same trip and constantly pushed their horse past what it was capable of doing. And midway through the ride, their horse broke down and got sick and couldn't continue. Then they're sidetracked on a whole side mission of having to take care of their horse and get their horse back functioning. They never make it to point B in time for what they're supposed to do. They get there 5 days later. Or they're just like, you know what? I gotta just go back home. I gotta just go back home. A friendly rider with a cart carries the horse back to point A, and the horse has to convalesce for 5 days. And now the Rider A has missed out on an opportunity, and now they're missing out on more opportunities because their horse has been sick. And that's all because Rider A wanted to do things Rider A's way and wanted to force their will upon the world. So acceptance is the answer. Sorry, family, I'm back. I needed to do some stuff. Because I was concerned about time management, and if it wasn't already obvious, I'm doing this as soon as I woke up. This is how I'm starting my day because I have like work stuff that I have to do. But anyway, the message that I got is like, stop trying to prove yourself to people. Like, it's already self-evident. It's already, you are it. You are it. It's inside of you. Like, you weren't born to be like everybody else, and you know that. And you want everyone else to acknowledge you. It doesn't matter if they acknowledge you or not. A lot of you, like, they already know what it is. They already know, and they're just keeping you hanging on. They're playing games. They're manipulating you emotionally, keeping you hanging on because they don't want to give you what it is you want. They don't want to give you emotional contentment. They don't want to give you emotional security and stability. And that should be fine, because guess what? They can't anyway. That should be fine because they can't anyway. They can't give that to you. Only you can give that to you. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, it's never going to be enough. Or it's always going to be too much. Because it's you who has to validate you. Excuse me. You're the one who has to validate yourself. Nobody can give you self-confidence, self-assurance. You need to believe in yourself. See what it is that is within you that is keeping you from really having a solid, strong belief in yourself and love for yourself. What is really keeping you from exercising your personal power? And we have Capricorn, we have Pluto at 5 degrees, Capricorn in the second house, making an opposition to the moon at 6 degrees and 33 seconds in Cancer in the 8th house. And this is revealing, and honestly, I would say triggering our conception of personal power and an understanding that, like, you know, self-betrayal, that writer A constantly self-betrayed and therein self-sabotaged. But writer B did not. And that's why they were able to get as far as they went. Writer B didn't give not one single fuck what people had to say. Writer B knew what was in writer B's heart and what was being communicated to writer B by higher power. South Node in Libra at 11 degrees and 18 seconds in the 11th house. Exactly. This is saying that writer B didn't take on and self-impose these restrictions or continue. You know, we have, it's indoctrination, right? And I do feel that while the South Node is in Libra, this is about us deconstructing our indoctrination and really with Pluto in Capricorn, reconfiguring our integrity, reconfiguring our principle system, our structures, getting grounded in who we are on an integral level, and operating from that place, and not just accepting what has been given to us and what has been told to us. And so it's about transcending and letting go. Because I feel like, yeah, it's still like, you gotta let go of the ways in which people outside of you, and this feels like a collective. That's why I kept saying, like, the community, the town. The way that this, in this case, it is society. The way that society has told you you have to be, it's time to let that go. Because society does not have a vested interest in your well-being, period. And if I don't need to spend time explaining that to you. But guess who does? God. Your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides. That's why they're working with you. However, I do know someone, Anna Core, who her angels, her spirit guides were sabotaging her. I don't know why. I don't know what that was about, but like, that's what she said. That's her experience. So, you know, take everything with a grain of salt and apply that grain wherever you feel like, if it applies, keep it. If not, get rid of it. Or just have it there as a source of wisdom. Like, I know that that's what some people believe, but that doesn't apply to me. That doesn't work for me. Exactly what I'm saying. So, this is what has been keeping you from achieving your dreams. Rider B doesn't give a fuck. Not one fuck. But Rider A does. And that's why Rider A is held back so badly. Whatever you gotta do to get past this is what you got to do. Have courage. Have courage. So this is a little bit different because, like, this is the way that they wanted to do it. You are meant to usher in the age of light. Light is about what? Consciousness. Revelation, information. Information travels on light. Stop putting other people's wishes before yours, because the other thing about it is like then rider A is resentful. Rider A is resentful towards rider B. Rider B has not done anything to rider A. Rider B is even nice to a rider A, but rider A hates rider B. It reminds me of Arrested Development. White Power Bill hates White Power Bill. I hate my dad. White Power Bill hates White Power Bill. I hate you. White Power Bill hates White Power Bill. I hate me. If you haven't seen it, I think it's in season 2 of Arrested Development. But, and that's, yeah. I'm not giving any free promo to any platform that's not paying me. So check it out. If you haven't seen it, I love that show. But I always tell people, like, if you didn't see it before the age of wokeness, then you probably won't like it. If you don't understand satire, you definitely won't like it. If you don't understand satire and you are really sensitive about like things like that, then like you're just not gonna like that show. But I love it, and that's what that reminds me of, is like rider A hates rider A's self. Daydreams in reverse, haunted, nightmares in reverse, do me first in reverse, manifest, duality in reverse, lost in reverse, saint, awaken, spirit, beauty in reverse. It's been like keeping you from being able to live a beautiful life. You don't allow yourself to be free in your waking life, and then you have nightmares. Like, I'm picking up that like whoever's watching this, some of you have night terrors because you don't allow, because you're so controlling in your waking life. You don't allow like spirit to speak to you, and they have to speak to you in your dreams. And like, this is part of why you experience night terrors, because spirit's trying to be like, look, this is what is going on inside of you, and you're ignoring it. Conversely, there are some of you who, you know, the night terrors are going to end for you, but it's part of this clarification process that's happening, because all that stuff is being removed because you've been doing the work and allowing yourself to be guided by spirit. You have not been putting yourself first, and this is why you haven't been like accessing the life that you want for yourself. You haven't been trusting yourself. You haven't been putting your purpose first. You've been putting other people's opinions first. And I really think that it's important to note that this Slow Your Road card, I think this is 𝗪𝗻𝗻. Oh, I have a piece of 𝗪𝗻𝗻. And this card is telling me that like rider A, you're rider A in this situation, and you're developing this understanding of how to move forward, how to change. But maybe you're like trying to build Rome in a day. Start off small. Appreciate the small steps that you are taking to get to where you need to go. You need to allow yourself to just be. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. You don't need to be perfect. It's keeping you from being able to actualize what it is you're meant to actualize. And because you're not living from your spirit, like, that's what's keeping you from being able to experience joy and freedom. I feel like you're really coming back home right now. That's what is happening. And you just need to really be more conscientious about the energy that you're putting out and how you're interacting with the world and how you're interacting with life. The collective needs you to be who you are. You put so much pressure on yourself to be what they want, but you don't realize, like, you need to be what they need. And they maybe don't know what they need, and they maybe won't appreciate what they need. But in the long run, it matters more that you can be that. Just like the medicine for the 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄's horse. 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄's horse needs to eat more kale, but 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄's horse only wants to eat corn. So 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄 figures out ways to feed the horse kale. You got to do that too. So what's coming in for you is like figuring out how to communicate and express the light codes that you're meant to in order to serve the purpose that you are meant to serve. And that people can bask in your light and be transformed by you. People can hear your message and be transformed by you. And you live in your purpose and your mission. And when you're doing that, you find fulfillment. Because what I do feel is like, this card to me, this reads as a pelvis bone. So this to me reads as the sacral. And this is the power, the axis of power. The birth canal. And that it's upside down, it's like a breech baby, you know, like you're not allowing your creative power to flow. Not as best as it could. So I feel like there's a lot of realizations coming in now about, and look at this, it's the age of light and the pillar of light. This is about light, this is about consciousness. This is about, as I said, revelation. Realizing like you don't need to go out and change the world. You need to go in and change the world within you. And when you just change you, you do change the world because you're part of the collective. You're not apart from, you are a part of. Connect to your star stuff with meteorite. Who needs it? Children of the stars, wherever you gaze toward distant constellations, with or without opening your eyes. They're extraterrestrial flocks flung from space. They've been carbon dated to the beginning of time, even older than our sun. Meteorites come in three forms: nickel, iron, chondrites, and palladites, infused with radiant peridot. It doesn't look very powerful, but it is. Doesn't look that precious, but it is. Not all that glitters is gold. Seriously. And so, you know, this is really calling you to do things differently than you've ever seen it done before, because where other people couldn't, you can. Nobody's ever made that trip in 3 days, says 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄. And that's why 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄 cannot. No, it's always taken at least 3 days. Nobody's ever made that trip any faster than 3 days. And that's why 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄 doesn't even make it. But 𝗪𝗻𝗋 isn't even trying and makes it in 2 days and breaks a record. 𝗪𝗻𝗋 is just trying to do the best that 𝗪𝗻𝗋 can to find the easiest, softest way, and that is by tuning into spirit and allowing yourself to be spiritually guided. It's so important for us to recognize, like, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. You can only be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And that's it. That's it. Having expectations of others, having expectations of yourselves contingent on the expectations of others is not helpful for you. Because if the horse had so much anxiety about 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄's expectations for them, meanwhile 𝗪𝗻𝗋𝗄 doesn't have any expectations for them, maybe the horse becomes so anxious and just can't ride anymore. or rider A's horse has so much expectation placed upon it, and it becomes resentful and reactive and subconsciously behaves in a reactionary way that is self-sabotaging in a way, because they know that they'll receive punishment, but they do it anyway because they need to act out. So that's what I'm picking up for, especially with 11 degrees of Libra and South Node. It's like, that's what's being purged from our feminine channel, the expectations of the world, because that has been blocking how we express our masculine energy. And that's why the demonization of the feminine, the oppression of the feminine, the repression, the enslavement of the feminine has therein brought destruction upon the masculine. And this is why masculine protection and liberation is so important. With this duality in the reverse card, I feel like this is really saying like we need to come together. Integrity, integration. And so that's happening this weekend. You might be having nightmares during this time. You might be having nightmares during this time. But things are coming up to be purged. What I downloaded while I was washing my face. What I downloaded while I was washing my face and getting ready for today was that it will help us to sit and meditate and engage with the higher self of the people that have hurt us. The healed self, that is liberated from quantum reality. The 3D self may have hurt us, but the healed self can give us whatever it is that we need in order to move on. If what you're waiting for is an apology, you can get it, but maybe not from this 3D version of them. And then you can continue extending them unconditional love, but also unconditionally loving yourself by protecting yourself and keeping yourself safe and not engaging with them. Protect your soul with the obsidian. So this is an opportunity to get free, this energy. And it requires us acknowledging the ways in which we have been self-sabotaging and keeping ourselves from being able to access that freedom, access that liberation. Repressing our desires is a big thing that's coming up. And that makes sense with South Node retrograde. It's always retrograde, but South Node in Libra at 11 degrees. Mastery of self. It's like, okay, I can have what I want. I can have what I want. Do I really want that is the next stage. Do I really want that? Okay, yes, I do really want that. Why? Where is this impulse coming from? Okay, I'm accepting that I want this thing, and I'm going to work with the universe. I'm going to work with the divine. I'm going to work with God, my spirit guides, my angels, my ancestors. I'm going to work with my spirit team to bring that in. And I'm going to trust my intuition when it leads me to this place or that place. There's a lot of karma, whatever karmic contracts are broken, those parts of our souls are coming back to us and being reintegrated right now. So I do feel like there's a lot of sacral chakra healing because a lot of the contracts have been the restoration of the feminine is what I'm hearing. The restoration of our creative power, because that is a way in which we've been being drained, because those parts of ourselves have been separate, doing this work that we are not consciously aware of. And honestly, I feel like this is saying to me, you really don't have to do as much as you feel like you need to do. Like, just get out of your own way and allow yourself to experience your feelings, and the message is going to be in there. And once you get it out, speak from your heart with Amazonite. Once again, teeth grinders, anyone struggling with Mercury retrograde. And Rider A is a teeth grinder if I ever seen a teeth grinder. Because I am one, so I know. Place Amazonite below the throat, relax your jaw, and ask for the courage to speak your truth. When your inner child wants a real talk with you, who hurt you? Ask yourself what little you really wants from life. Does it sound like what current you would want if you could just let yourself want it? Exactly. Perfect. Now say it out loud for the whole universe to hear, and go make it happen. Exactly. Exactly. Find your natural rhythm. These two, bottom of the deck. So all of this other story that's out here is really just about this. You don't have to walk around defensively when you're living in alignment. You don't have to walk around defensively when you've healed the fragmented parts of yourself, the fragmentations. Rewrite your code with rainbows. Bismuth. Apocalypse. This is ending, carnal. Like, this period in your life is ending. You just have to take the lessons and move forward with them. Each cycle that you go through, if you make the most of it, you get the most out of it. It is what you make it. You get back what you put in. Bismuth's energy is focusing, conductive, and awakening. So get clear on what it is you really want and allow yourself to want it. And decide, this is what I'm going to get. And be uncompromising about it. But also understand that, like, if Rider A is in the point where they have had this massive realization and consciousness shift, they're on the journey to change. They're on the journey to becoming who they are meant to be. They're on their journey to liberation. So it's just one foot in front of the other. You don't change everything overnight. You can't. But all you can do is really put in as much effort as you possibly can in any given moment. And that's how you make those real solid changes. Okay, so let's get some practical advice. You want to get these out of here. You're not lost. You know exactly where you are. You know exactly where you are. And you know exactly what you want because you've been here before. In each place that you go, if you left a part of yourself behind, then this is an opportunity for you to reclaim that part of yourself and grow in your power, grow in your strength, grow into fulfillment. So what we're going to do is we're going to get social, romantic, money. Okay, social, romantic, and money, and then we're gonna get clarifiers from here. So, Cosmic Tarot. Just looking at the chart, and I feel like, yeah, we talked so much about social and our relationship to the social world. And I would say, once again, like, just allow yourself to become clear. Allow yourself to become clear. there's a lot of external messaging going on, and it's really important to take what works and leave the rest. You don't have to internalize everything as being about, like, you need that for you. You don't need everything that everyone has to say. Take what applies and let the rest fly. Or let it fly. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. I don't know. That's something that I've heard before. But I am being drawn to Pisces. And it's in the 4th house with Neptune at 1 degree, the Sun at 15 degrees, Chiron at 21 degrees, 24 degrees, Jupiter, and 29 degrees Mercury. And the Moon is entering Cancer on the 31st of March. I do want to remind y'all that this is energy that I'm reading, so it doesn't matter when you see this, just know that this is the energy that you're engaging with, because a part of yourself may be present in that time still, and you need to do the work to get that part of yourself free. So that energy has come up for you to be able to take back your power, as I said. So Moon is entering Cancer on Friday. New week starts. You will feel really emotional. I want you to just take time to be compassionate with yourself and soft with yourself, because I feel like there's a lot of righteous indignation coming up. There's a lot of righteous indignation coming up. And just remember that everybody is dealing with their own stuff. Like, everybody is healing stuff that, like, needs to be transformed and needs to be healed. And so it's important to have grace. And that's why I said, like, whoever hurt you, talk to their higher self. Like, talk to their healed, whole higher self. And hash it out with them. No, we're not doing this. Put it all back. Put it all back. We're not doing that. I'll take 3 cards at the most. Past, present, future, please, for social. Past, present, future for the collective social, for this energy. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. Bottom of the deck is Prince of Cups. We've been getting a lot of Prince of Cups lately. Justice in reverse. Things, yeah, you were hurt. You were hurt by people. You know, family members hurt you. Friends hurt you. You hurt you, ultimately, also. But you didn't know any better. So I really would encourage you to be patient, and I would also encourage you to not jump into making these huge life changes. Just allow clarity to come in as you live, as you breathe. Allow clarity to come in, because it is coming in. You know, your information is purging through the emotional body, you know, and yeah, that's really helpful. But just remember that feelings are not facts. They are messages, but they're not facts. Queen of Cups. Actually, that's not meant to come through. They're not facts. And just, I feel like there's an air of suspicion. And that is fear, and that has been blocking you. And it's because of the way that you've been hurt in the past. And you just got to stop bringing that into the present. 6 of Cups. Isolation. Not allowing yourself to experience love or experience intimacy because you've been afraid of intimate partner relationships, friendships, everything, because you've been hurt in the past. Knight of Swords in reverse, Five of Swords in reverse. Pause and let this is not a time for you to actually act on the things that are coming up. This is just a time for you to process what's come in and allow it to release what needs to go out in order for the light to come in. The revelations have come in, and now's the time for clarification as you are being reconfigured, reformed, and leveled up. The Moon in reverse, as I said, clarification is coming in. You'll know what to do when the time is right, but you don't need to go out and seek. 5 of Swords in the reverse. Because the issue's not outside of you, it's inside of you. So, practical advice for social. We have the Moon and Dark Moon Lilith in Cancer in the 8th house. The Moon is making an opposition to Pluto at 5 degrees in the 2nd house of Capricorn. I feel like your wounded inner child is really present, and you just need to hold space for that, and maybe just try to take it easy on yourself right now. All of that hurt and pain from the past is being removed now. So then we have the 4 of Cups. Yeah, for now it's just consider what you want for your social life. What kind of social situations do you want? What kind of social life do you want? Your inner child, what do they want? Not just what you want, because a lot of what you want is informed by what you think that you want. But ask yourself truly, what do I really want? What is actually going to be conducive for my life? Do I want a really busy social life? Do I want a chill social life? Do I want a ton of friends? Do I want a small, close circle of friends? Ultimately, what do you want from your social life? And I am talking about consciousness. I am talking about mental framework. I am talking about how you feel when you're with them, not just what they look like. But that's also valid too. We get Temperance again. 5 of Cups in reverse. Do not act on your feelings and thoughts right now, because clarification is coming in. Observe, but I don't think that you're thinking clearly because your inner child is in the driver's seat this weekend. At this time. Four of Cups in the reverse. Knight of Clubs in reverse, and 5 of Swords. So there's a lot of reversal of energy here, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Be patient right now, because if you're patient, your entire field, your entire personal matrix is going to transform and change, and there's a lot of relief that's going to come for you. You're not going to have to go out so far from yourself to find what it is you want. 10 of Coins in the reverse. The people who did not work hard The people who didn't show up as much as you, the non-reciprocal relationships are being purged now. Hierophant in the reverse. I'm not taking those. I'm not taking them. Hierophant in the reverse. Queen of Cups? I think that's the King of Cups. And 3, the Empress. She's observant. She's observant and wise. Observant of life, even at a minuscule level. Discernment. A lot of information is coming. A lot of revelation is coming. Allow that to happen and transform you before you move forward. I'm seeing these stars here, the 2 stars here, and that to me is saying like it's divinely guided, cosmically guided, and the people that resonate with your spirit on a cosmic level are coming in. Don't you worry. Don't worry. You're not going to have to figure it out. It's going to be presented to you. It's going to fall in your lap. But just allow yourself to feel your feelings right now. Allow yourself to feel them. Don't police them, but also don't act on them. Okay? I think that this is probably because of being on TikTok, but that song, like, oh, she's a little bit psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's singing, I don't know the words. But that song is like, we get the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, what's been keeping you out of your feminine power, and the Princess of Swords in reverse, like just not King of Swords, the 2 of Cups at the bottom of that, 9 of Pentacles. It's just like you're coming into union and alignment, but it's because you have to transmute and heal those hurt parts of yourself and those broken parts of yourself in order to like have that happen and have the reconciliation and reintegration and fulfillment, you know? You feel me? Yeah, when I was younger, I definitely feel like I was that song, like sweet but a little bit psycho. And that's because I was traumatized. I was very mentally ill. I really, really was. But I also maintain that you don't have to stay mentally ill forever, because I've been doing the healing work and I'm way less psycho. I act out way less. I don't think that I actually recorded anything, which is really frustrating. I've been reading for this whole time and I have not been recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you what came out in this pile. And it's a lot of what relates to this pile. For social life, a lot of unjust things happened to you and they framed your perception. And this perception that you have has been self-sabotaging because you're always on the lookout. You're always suspicious. You're always thinking that everything's always going to be so bad. And you always need to be protecting yourself hella. You need to be constantly exhausting yourself by being watchful. Those situations are purging from you now. And what I would really recommend to you to do, as I said, is like, if you needed apology, connect with the higher self of the person who hurt you and talk to them. Don't bother trying to get it from the 3D version because you're not going to. Get it from their higher self. And that is going to allow you the liberation that you need, your inner child needs. Right now, a lot is coming up. So be patient, because all these feelings are coming up and all these realizations are happening, and you're not clear on how to move forward in the 3D. You're not clear on what you need to do in the 3D. These explosions, these explosive awarenesses need to happen for you to know how to move forward, for you to know how to wield your energy, for you to know how to build better, a transformation of your structures, of your integrity, of the very foundation of your paradigm, rewriting your story, your narrative with rainbows, a DNA transformation, but it doesn't need to be made now. Until you're no longer emotionally charged and electrically charged, until, which is gonna happen, clarity will come, but just allow yourself to feel what you need to feel and to see what you need to see. Allow yourself to experience the grief. Allow yourself to feel your feelings without feeling like you need to do anything about it. And clarity as to what to do will come as you settle back to ground. With the romance pile, we have the Fool in the direct position, the Seven of Wands in the indirect, the Death card, the World, the Chariot, at the bottom of the deck, the Nine of Wands. Because you have made a decision of how you're going to move forward, getting definite and sure and clear on what you're going to do and who you're going to be and what your life is. Two of Swords in the reverse. As I said, getting clear, making a decision. Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. No more cards. You have started this journey, and it was so subtle. The shift was so subtle, but it has been massive, and it has changed you so much. You have grown so much. It's time to really look back on who you were and realize how much work you've done. And I would say have appreciation for the past versions of yourself who did the best that they could, because the fact that you even have this awareness now and you didn't shows how much you've grown. And it was that version of yourself who chose to do the scary thing and grow, because a lot of people do not do that. I'm feeling a tightness in my throat, like you need to say that shit. You need to say that shit. The Emperor. I keep forgetting what 9 is. The Hermit in reverse, and the Queen of Cups in reverse. Because you're removing the inverted feminine, the calcification is being dissolved. You just need to let your guard down. Like, you need to allow yourself to experience intimacy. You need to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to be soft. Like, really lean into that yin energy, that receptivity, that softness, the sensitivity, because that's how you have a sensual life. And when you live a sensual life, things tend to feel better. You find yourself in better situations because you're moving by sense. And it doesn't make sense to not move by sense. That's nonsense, right? So trust that, like, the transformation is coming. The release is happening. The removal of karma is happening. This journey is just finishing up. It's just finishing up. Very soon, everything is going to change for you in the 3D. Keep on choosing that choice that you made. Keep on making those decisions where you choose yourself. Because you are the star. You be the star. You be the center of your solar system. Understand, there's a lot of stars in this universe. So you be the star in your solar system, and let everybody else be the star in their solar system. But y'all all revolve around the great central sun. The center of the universe is not you, but you're the center of your solar system. Feel that. Understand that. Okay, so let's wrap up with money. I do feel like money is coming in slow right now. I want to say, don't allow the fear of the economic situation to rule you, to control you, because that is not going to be conducive or helpful for you. What is most conducive for you? What is most helpful for you in this time is to understand that the economy, the world around you, the 3D world is not your higher power. You want to be taken care of, be taken care of by your higher power. Be taken care of by God. Your job is not your higher power. Your boss is not your higher power. Your partner is not your higher power. Everything that comes in from the universe. Not from those people. Those people are just vessels for the universe. They are pawns being used by the universe to do what the universe wants them to do. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself out. Don't sell yourself out. Don't compromise your integrity for a little bit of money because you're feeling scared. Money, material abundance is coming to you. And I feel like all of this triggering that's happening in the rest of the reading might make you feel like you need to act out and splurge and spend instead of save. I would encourage you not to. And if you feel like you need to spend, though I would really encourage you not to, what I would encourage is to invest in yourself. And I would also say, stop feeling like investing in yourself is like a luxury. It's not a luxury. It's actually a necessity. Like, seriously. And by thinking about it as not a necessity, you make it arbitrary to the universe. As I said, things are disintegrated right now. There's been a lot of past indecision. There's been a lot of past indecision. There's been a lot of inability to really show up for yourself. There's been a lot of confusion. There's been a lot of time wasting, procrastinating. And that is why right now, like, you're not feeling like you're feeling disintegrated. And everything seems to feel like it's falling apart. It may be very triggering because it's just like, why am I doing this? That was the first spell. So 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
You may have felt like, you may feel like you're all out of alignment. Like, why isn't this happening? It wasn't happening because you had not made the decision for it to happen yet. Now that you've made the decision, you think that everything is going to happen immediately. You had not fully committed. You were still 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This is a time where you're recognizing the ways in which your insecurity has been hindering you from being able to achieve and receive. Right now, things are not completely integrated. There is a clarification happening. There is a removal of karmic energy happening that's going to allow you to move forward. Karmic energy might even be like your family. So those self-limiting beliefs that your family imposed upon you. That made you feel like you were not able to, you were not self-sovereign. You did not believe in your earning ability, your capacity for wealth, and this made you act out in other ways. But your power is being restored at this time. by the end of this process, you're going to feel so empowered. But right now the energy is saying that like you just prepare for the fact that like you're not able to manifest the way that you want to right now because your yin channels are being cleared and transformed, and it's not the time to be manifesting. It's not the time to be calling things in. It's the time to be expressing things. It's the time to be reconfiguring how it is you're going to move through the world. And as you're in this active process of realization, you're going to become self-sovereign over your mentality. And that's going to tell you how you move forward. Just allow this to happen. Allow this to play out. Allow wisdom to express itself. That's all I have for you. You know, I recommend like just do a vision board. Make your wish lists. Look at your wish list all the time. One of Swords. One is a child to me. Very innocent. But she's making a mess and she's being harmful. And that's what's going to happen if you don't just allow yourself to, like, allow your inner child to do whatever the fuck they want in a contained manner that doesn't hurt you or anyone else. Allow them to have their temper tantrum. But don't make any decisions based off of that. Don't be impulsive. One of Cups. Yes, exactly. Don't let them drive the car. King of Swords in reverse. You really just need to allow them. Don't give them any power in the 3D right now. Let them express themselves. And then when you feel like your higher self, and allow them to converse with your higher self. And when y'all have come into balance once again, which is going to be at the other side of this energy, then you'll know what to do. But I would really recommend, I would not recommend spending money right now. So that's all I have for you. I love you all truly and deeply. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you heard something that resonates and that, you know, has been transformative, empowering. Knight of Pentacles. That's what we're coming into. We're going to be able to move forward. Right now, don't do that because you don't have the mindset. You don't know. There's stuff that you still don't know that you're finding out. But don't worry, it's going to be fine. So I love you all truly and deeply. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.